If you're running a SaaS business or e-commerce company on Stripe and using NetSuite for accounting, you already know the sound of this reconciliation nightmare. Stripe payouts don't match your transaction totals, fees are just scattered absolutely everywhere, chargebacks come through weeks later, and you're probably exporting CSV files and manually creating journal entries just to close your books. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to integrate Stripe with NetSuite, automate the entire transaction and sync reconciliation process, and handle everything from fee mapping to revenue recognition without touching a spreadsheet. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about why the Stripe to NetSuite integration is such a huge pain point for finance teams. When you process payments through Stripe, the money flow is a little bit complex. A customer pays you $100 and Stripe takes their processing fee, let's say $3. If it's a subscription, you might have deferred revenue to track, or maybe there's a chargeback from last month that gets deducted. All of this happens in Stripe. Then, a few days later, Stripe deposits the net amount into your bank account. Your NetSuite general ledger needs to reflect all of this accurately. Gross revenue, Stripe fees as expenses, proper revenue recognition for subscriptions, chargeback write-offs, everything. But Stripe and NetSuite don't talk to each other natively. Here's what makes this integration challenging. Stripe payouts don't match transaction totals. When Stripe deposits money into your bank, that payout includes multiple days of transactions, minus fees and chargebacks, plus adjustments. Reconciling that payout against your NetSuite records manually is just way too tedious. Next, fee categorization is critical. Stripe charges processing fees, subscription fees, and various other charges. If you're not categorizing these into the right GL accounts in NetSuite, your expense tracking is wrong and your margins look very off. Also, chargebacks mess everything up. When you get a chargeback, Stripe reverses the revenue and deducts the chargeback fee from a future payout. In NetSuite, you need to create proper journal entries to reverse the revenue and record the loss. But doing this manually for every chargeback is a waste of time. Revenue recognition for subscriptions. If you're running a SaaS business with Stripe subscriptions, you need proper revenue recognition in NetSuite. Monthly recurring revenue needs to be recognized over time, not all at once. But setting this up manually is incredibly monotonous. Next is multi-entity complexity. If you're running multiple entities or subsidiaries in NetSuite, mapping Stripe transactions to the right subsidiary just adds another layer of complexity. So what conclusions can we draw? You need automated Stripe NetSuite integration. Manual CSV exports and journal entry creation simply don't scale. So what features actually matter when you're integrating Stripe with NetSuite? First is automated transaction sync. Your Stripe transactions need to flow into NetSuite automatically. Every charge, refund, payout, and fee, all of it should sync without you needing to download CSV files. Smart fee mapping. Stripe processing fees should automatically post to the correct expense account in your NetSuite GL. Same with subscription fees, dispute fees, and any other Stripe charges. Then we have payout reconciliation. When Stripe deposits money into your bank, your integration should create matching journal entries in NetSuite so you can reconcile that bank deposit in just one click. Chargeback handling. When a chargeback happens, the integration should automatically reverse the revenue, record the chargeback fee, and keep your AR accurate. Then we have revenue recognition automation. For subscription businesses, you need automated revenue recognition that defers revenue and recognizes it over the subscription period, all within NetSuite's RevRec framework. GL account mapping. You should be able to map Stripe transaction fields to specific NetSuite GL accounts, subsidiaries, classes, locations, whatever your chart of account requires. Then we have real-time or scheduled sync. Depending on your volume, you might want real-time transaction posting or a scheduled batch import. The integration should give you that kind of flexibility. Now, let's talk about how to actually make this happen. Most teams start with a manual Stripe to NetSuite integration. Here's what that typically looks like. You export transaction data from Stripe as a CSV. Open it up, clean up the data, categorize transactions, calculate fee amounts, and create journal entry lines for each transaction type. Then you import or manually enter everything into NetSuite. For payouts, you create a separate journal entry to match the bank deposit. If you're doing low volume, like a few dozen Stripe transactions per month, this is manageable. A bit painful, but still manageable. But here's when manual integration begins to break down. High transaction volume. If you're processing hundreds or thousands of Stripe transactions per month, Manual CSV exports become a full-time job. Subscription complexity. Manual revenue recognition for recurring subscriptions is incredibly error-prone. Miss just one entry and your deferred revenue is wrong for the rest of the year. Multi-entity operations. If you're posting to multiple NetSuite subsidiaries, manually mapping each transaction gets messy fast. And last but not least, timing issues. Stripe payouts can include transactions from different accounting periods, but manually tracking cutoff dates and accruals is a recipe for errors. This is why automated Stripe NetSuite integration is a non-negotiable for any serious business. This is where a proper Stripe NetSuite connector comes into play. Instead of manually exporting and importing data, you use an integration platform that understands both Stripe's payment structure and NetSuite's accounting requirements. Let me show you how this works with Synder, a platform that solves the Stripe NetSuite integration conundrum. When you connect Stripe to NetSuite through Synder, here's what happens automatically. Complete transaction sync. Every Stripe transaction syncs to NetSuite automatically. Charges, refunds, subscriptions, payments, one-time payments, everything flows in with full detail. Customer name, amount, payment method, metadata, all captured. Smart fee mapping. Stripe processing fees post automatically to your designated expense account in NetSuite. You can map different fee types to different GL accounts if needed. Subscription fees, dispute fees, transfer fees, all categorized correctly. Then there's automated journal entries. Synder creates the journal entries in NetSuite automatically. Debit cash, credit revenue, debit fees expense, and Stripe clearing account. All the proper accounting entries are generated based on your GL mapping. Payout reconciliation. When Stripe deposits money into your bank account, Synder creates a clearing account transfer in NetSuite that matches exactly what hit your bank. You reconcile your bank deposit in one click because everything's already accounted for. Chargeback handling. When a chargeback occurs, Synder automatically creates a journal entry to reverse the revenue, records the chargeback fee as an expense, and adjust your AR. Everything's tracked properly without manual intervention. Then there's revenue recognition for subscriptions. For SaaS businesses running Stripe subscriptions, Synder can set up automated revenue recognition in NetSuite. Monthly subscription payments get deferred and recognized over the subscription period, following NetSuite's revenue recognition rules. Flexible sync modes. Choose between real-time syncing for the up-to-minute accuracy or scheduled batch imports to keep your transaction volume manageable in NetSuite. The result? Your Stripe accounting is completely automated. Transactions flow into NetSuite in real time, fees are categorized correctly, payouts reconcile automatically, and revenue recognition happens without manual journal entries. Instead of spending days every month on Stripe reconciliation, it's just done. Your NetSuite books are always current, always accurate. Setting up an automated Stripe NetSuite integration is incredibly straightforward. First, you connect Synder to your Stripe account. You'll authorize the connection through Stripe's OAuth flow, which essentially gives Synder access to read your transaction data. Next, connect Synder to your NetSuite account. You'll install a small Suite app bundle in NetSuite to authorize the connection. Then, you configure your integration settings. The first is GL account mapping. Map Stripe transaction types to your NetSuite GL accounts. Sales revenue goes to your revenue account, Stripe fees go to your payment processing account, and chargeback go to your bad debt account, and so on. Then we have fee handling. You can choose how you want Stripe fees recorded: separate line items, netted against revenue, or as standalone expense entries. Most businesses track fees separately for accurate margin reporting. Revenue recognition rules. For subscription businesses, you can configure your revenue recognition schedule. Monthly subscriptions defer and recognize over 30 days, annual subscriptions over 12 months, and so on. Sync schedule. You can decide when transactions sync, real-time for immediate posting, or scheduled batches for cleaner NetSuite transaction volume. And last but not least, we have historical import. You can import past Stripe data if you need to fix historical books. You can usually go back several years even. Once all that's configured, Synder runs automatically. Every Stripe transaction syncs to NetSuite, fees are categorized, journal entries are created, and payouts reconcile with your bank. At month end, your NetSuite books are already closed. Everything's reconciled, revenue is recognized properly, and your financial statements are accurate. So what conclusions can we draw? You need automated Stripe NetSuite integration. Manual CSV exports and journal entry creation simply don't scale. Now, let me give you a few best practices for Stripe NetSuite integration. Use a Stripe clearing account. Set up a clearing account in NetSuite that mirrors your Stripe balance. Transactions post to this clearing account, then payouts clear it out when money hits your bank. This keeps everything organized and reconcilable. Separate fee tracking. Track Stripe fees in a dedicated expense account, not netted against revenue. This gives you clean revenue reporting and accurate visibility into payment processing costs. Review the first month closely. When you first set up automation, review the first month's transactions to verify that everything's categorizing correctly. Once you confirm that it's working, you can trust it moving forward. Set up revenue recognition properly. For subscription businesses, make sure your revenue recognition schedule matches your actual subscription terms. Monthly subscriptions should be recognized over the subscription period, not all at once. Handle chargebacks correctly. Make sure chargebacks are reversing revenue, not showing as expenses, and that chargeback fees are tracked separately. This keeps your revenue reporting accurate. And last but not least, monitor multi-entity mappings. If you're using NetSuite subsidiaries, periodically verify that transactions are posting to the correct entities. Miscategorized subsidiaries can cause major consolidation headaches. The bottom line is, Stripe NetSuite integration doesn't have to be a manual nightmare. With the right connector, your Stripe transactions sync automatically, fees are categorized correctly, payouts reconcile with just one click, and revenue recognition happens without manual journal entries. If you're doing any significant Stripe volume, automated integration is the only way to keep your NetSuite books accurate and current. If you want to see exactly how this works for your business, book a free discovery call. The link's in the description below. Our team will walk you through the whole setup based on your Stripe volume and NetSuite structure. Thanks for watching. Let us know down below in the comments if this helped you and if there are any other topics you'd like us to cover in the future. And of course, hit subscribe because we drop new accounting and e-commerce tutorials on this channel all the time. See you in the next one.